I want to welcome everybody to Country Health. Thanks for coming by. A couple days ago we did a blog on a snippet of prevention through nutrition.
Today we're going to look at a little bit more. I just got back from a kickboxing class, so we just burned about 500, 600, 700 calories depending on who has the class. We went through on how to make a nutritious smoothie. So I saved this morning's for after this, that you can see where it's green in color. And what are the four, going back real quick, what are the four parts of the smoothie that we want to have in it? One is the green leafy vegetable. Another part is a fruit, maybe one or two. Same with the leafy vegetables, we're going to have a couple of those. And along with some type of a protein and also a healthy fat. So we're going to get this blog going around, and like I says, we're going to look at healing and prevention through nutrition. It's a natural and a holistic approach to how to eat, what to eat, and why for optimal health and wellness. And the author is Avito, and she's a certified holistic nutritionist, biologist, educator, writer, and speaker. So to go back before we even get this book, this goes back to like 2005, and I was probably living the American dream like a lot of us, a lot of people, eating not the greatest stuff. I was approaching 29% body fat, so I was approaching the obesity, but quite a bit overweight. I started having all kinds of different ailments. I had acid reflux. My joints in my hands hurt all the time. I also had headaches when I woke up every morning. My back hurt like crazy. I had to roll off the couch or chair to pull myself up. So one day I was laying in bed, and we just had our third child, and I says, geez, I got to change things around here. You hear all these stories where, you know, my father and mother died when I was young, and they weren't around for us. They died of a heart attack and so on and so forth. So that's how I started my journey or voyage or whatever you want to call it. So my first step was to the doctor, and he set me up with some Nexium, and this is a pretty wonderful thing. I mean, I went home and started taking it, and my acid reflux was gone. It was beautiful. And this was in November, I mind you, and within about maybe 3 weeks, when my prescription was ready to run out, because I was supposed to go back and see him, I had this horrific stomach pains. And I played it off as, okay, it's flu season, but I didn't have any of the flu conditions other than seeming like I was having our fourth child. But anyways, when I went back to the doctor, I says, you know what, this Nexium, it's a little bit kind of expensive. Do you have a generic form? And then I had went in for a blood test the first time around, so we went through the blood test results, and he says, Dave, we got some other problems here. He says, your triglycerides are like 322, your cholesterol is way out of whack. He says, we're going to have to go to a Lipitor. He says, I'll get you something for your acid reflux, and he says, come back in a couple of months. And he says, we'll take another blood test and see where you are after this. So I go home, I start taking the medicine, Lipitor and stuff. I was against the Lipitor, but anyways, within 5 days I had that same stomach pain. I says, that's it. We're not doing the medicine anymore. I threw it out, and I says, we're going to have to start doing it more responsibly with maybe some food changing ideas. So my first thing was to have some type of a plan. And the first thing I did was gave up pop. And I was a Dr. Pepperaholic. You ever see that commercial? This goes back where there's a kid dancing across the street with all these people. You're a pepper, I'm a pepper. Why don't you be a pepper too? Well, I had 3 cans of Dr. Pepper per day with a 2-liter when I got back from work, home from work. And the only good thing with that is, one of my friends says, well, at least you're drinking healthy. I think Dr. Pepper has prune juice in it. So with that, one of my first goals was to eliminate the pop. The second one was fast food. I took care of all the McDonald's, the Burger Kings, I mean all of them out there. There was no more fast food. So those were 2 of my goals. And before I moved on, I made sure I accomplished those, and of course those two things were pretty easy. I haven't had any of that stuff since 2005, so that's pretty good. So the next step was I read a lot of stuff, and the first thing was I went with the grocery store, and we're all in the same boat. You just don't know what's good and what's bad. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. You figure a grocery store has a lot of different foods in it, and you consider it food. So one of the things is, if you look at I think you all remember Life cereal. This is cinnamon. Mikey likes it. There was a commercial, kind of an attention grabber, and here it's got a heart. Helps promote healthy heart, healthy food. What a good place to start. So I went around, and my whole cart was just filled up with all these boxes and packages with this big, huge heart, and everybody's looking down and says, "Oh, look, he's heart healthy. He's trying to improve his health." And you can almost see my cart with a big heart on it. It's pumping like a heart.
So I started doing that, and in other areas, the different types of packaging and stuff, I got hooked into that. I mean, you look at the package and it says 25% less sodium, half the calories, and half the sugar. So we got the sodium, we got the fat, we got the sugar. So those were sort of the ideas that I went by. And the thing was, I started losing weight, but I also started exercising. So once I got into the exercise, 3,000 crunches, sit-ups, push-ups per day, with 4 miles on a walk or running on a treadmill, followed with two hours of karate per week, with 5 classes of cardio kickboxing, and then every night we'd settle down with a 2-mile leisure walk just to settle down. Well, the thing is, you can't, I mean, no matter what type of food you eat, it could be bad, it could be whatever, you're going to lose weight. That's just way too much exercise. In fact, on some of the crunches, I'd find myself, I'd wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning in a crunch position. So what I do, I start doing crunches at 3 o'clock in the morning. It was sort of like I had to do them. And I probably have the best 6-pack abs in the world, but you just can't see them. It's just, I probably did some of them wrong. But getting back to the food aspect, you try to, there's always room for improvement for anybody. You watch Dr. Oz, you look at the different shows, and you always hear something, "Oh, I didn't know that," and you don't know this and do that. So my next step was I followed the media. And if you ever heard a song, or the group The Who, Pinball Wizard, I think I was a silver ball in that game. I mean, my head's still bouncing around, because every time there was something from the media, I went ape on it. I don't know, a health food, nutritional value. It's got some far out things that are going to help our health. So as soon as they said that, I told my wife, I said, "Hurry up, go to Walmart, buy all this dark chocolate. It's healthy for us. It's got all these awesome things that are going to make us healthy." I says, "Hurry up before everybody beats us down there and there's no dark chocolate." And all of a sudden the next week the eggs went, "Oh, the eggs, there's healthy benefits to the egg." I was playing right into the media. The media was always bringing something out about certain foods. So I told her, I says, "You better go get some eggs, because the media just said they're good. There's going to be a big rush for the eggs." So she went down there, bought these eggs. All of a sudden the following week the eggs were no good. I says, "Oh my God, you see, I have to come back." So it's things like this. But along the way, it helped me take stepping stones toward getting healthier.
And then you learn to raw and natural. And even so, you never get a
good answer of anywhere of what to eat. You always hear, "Okay, this is good, this is bad." And like I said, my head was going around in this pinball off these bumpers over and over. And it's hard to find a book, or hard to find some information to get you where you really want to be. So we're going to get to this book, and Savita Ochel, I've been blogging with her for quite a while, and I almost think she's like my sister, because she always sets me straight. Of course, she's got the nutritional and holistic approach to it, and whenever I have a question, like I'm the biggest ice cream eaters, I had to have a bowl of ice cream. So of course I'd go to the store and I'd look at the ingredients. Okay, this one had trans fat, this one had too much sugar, this one had too much salt, and I just say, hey, it's not going to happen that way. It's even, and I says, well, it's got calcium and stuff. It's a dairy product. She said, that's a problem. It's a dairy product. It still has sugar. It's got all the different stuff that's not good. So I gave it up. She helped me give it up. And then about 2 months later, somebody brought that dreaded carton of ice cream. So I tried it, and it could have sort of had a little bit. But the thing is, after giving it up for a while and trying to get salt and sugar and sodium out of your diet, it didn't taste as good. And I made couple blogs with trying to get the devil out of your, the devil's playground with your taste buds, where it gets in, really you get into sugar and sodium and the fat, and what it does is it creates hell for the rest of your body. So with all that said, we're going to get into this healing and prevention through nutrition. And the thing is, what I like about this is she's not trying to turn you into a vegetarian. She's not trying to give you her cookbook or her diet solution. There's so many diets out there, and they just don't work. She's doing it through the natural way of food. And like I always tell my wife, I said, my God, this eating is so tough. You almost need a PhD to understand all this. Well, this is better. She's like I said, she's a certified holistic nutritionist. So a lot of times on these books like this, say maybe you're not, it's a good thing to have a game plan. Maybe you want to start off with, maybe, okay, we're going to look at the book, Understanding the Basics of Food. And there's different parts to this. How to eat natural, alkaline, plant-based, eating raw, organic. Now the thing is, a lot of this stuff is going to be new to you. I never knew alkaline no, it's going to be acid, but no, it's what it does inside and what it has to do with the blood. And that's why when you have a smoothie like this, you want to try to get where it's green. You're trying to get all the different leafy green vegetables. That's pretty key. Let's set up a plan for ourselves. Maybe we want to try to attack first maybe what we drink. Okay, and she goes through here what to drink, what to look for. And I remember when I was back in with the doctor, I was set up with a nutritionist, and she right away says absolutely no 100% juices, because pasteurized, it makes them all sugar, it makes you gain weight. But the only thing is, she probably didn't think I was going to go any further with this. She told me to go with the low-cal, low-sugar type that had the Splenda. Well, of course, I went with that. It helped. But the thing is, it wasn't a good choice after a while. But it was a stepping stone to get out of that area. And also, when I worked with the school, they had a nutritionist for the school, and of course, they had a day for everybody to go. It was like a health day, and it was called Waistline. So I figured, well, heck, I'm skinny. I lost 60 pounds. I had all those troubles. I completely got rid of everything. I just had a tad around my stomach. It's waste management. What better way to go to see somebody like that? Well, here comes this nutritionist in for the school. She had to be about 30 pounds overweight. And I just thought, oh my God, how do I get out of here? Can I walk out? But her opening statement is, you can eat anything you want, just so it's in moderation. That's why a lot of us are having obesity, and it keeps going on and on with all the ailments, all the different diseases we have. So, getting back to this book, she goes through some of the different things. And what's good is she's not preaching that you have to ditch meat. There's things you need to look for in meat. She tells you how to do it. I'm not going to tell you what it is, because everybody should have a book like this as a guide. But there's different things, like I said, to look. She goes through what should we really eat, the fruits and vegetables. Whether you know it or not, a good portion of what we should have is vegetables. Now, a lot of people, there's a struggle between the meat eaters and the vegetarians, and just because you're a vegetarian, that doesn't mean you're eating healthy, because I know a couple of vegetarians, and and they're right in there with the processed food, the crackers, the cereal, and all the different types of cakes and pies and what have you. So, and just like exercise, and you can over-exercise like I did and lose weight and still not be healthy. I know a couple people, they jog like 8-10 miles a day, and you ask them, well, what do you eat? Well, I don't bother watching what I eat. I eat steaks and hamburgers and French fries and so forth. And sometimes you hear about people, well, yeah, I don't worry about what I eat or exercise because my uncle or my brother, he died when he was in his 40s or 50s. He was a health nut. He was exercising, but do we know what he ate? So it's all coming around to what's in this book. So there's different ways to look at a book like this, even if we start off maybe using 10% of this, and then, because a lot of us took 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years to screw up our eating habits. So even if we look at a book like this, okay, what is fruits and vegetables? Maybe we can look at a chapter here, eating raw. What is raw? She goes through all the things of the two basic type of foods. There's a
live, raw, natural food, which promotes health, and then there's the dead foods. That's more of your processed foods with your sugars and salts, which create all the diseases and stuff that we have today. So, and she goes, does everything have to be raw? Well, no, there's some stuff that you can cook and stuff, but the majority of your fruits and vegetables should be raw, but steamed. And then if you want to tackle another area, okay, they say nuts and seeds are good. Well, how many of you guys go out there to the store and get sugar-coated nuts or almonds or salted seeds, whether they're the heck are some of them, pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds? Well, here, maybe that's one way of looking at an area we can try to improve. So there is no such thing as salt. There is nothing with the different coatings. We don't even want to have roasted nuts. A lot of them say roasted. We want raw nuts, raw almonds, everything that's raw. If they're too hard, you can soak them. And there's some other areas. Maybe we want to get into more of the beans and legumes. She's talking about talking about cans and canned foods and stuff. So when you go into the grocery store, you see a lot of these foods and you think they're all healthy. But this book here tries to guide you, to show you that there's a lot of them that, I mean, you should be able to evaluate the food. I got a new saying now, I'm going to avoid everything. Everything is avoided until I can look at it and say, hey, what's in this food? Is there is there a lot of bad chemicals, stuff that I can't pronounce? A lot of things that I don't know. Is there high fructose corn syrup? Is there a lot of sodium? And a lot of that stuff you can discount that. Okay, this isn't a can. What's bad with cans? It's the lining. A lot of that stuff leaches the stuff out. It's not good. And a lot of people say you stay around the outer thing of a grocery store. Well, usually when you go into a grocery store, a food store, you look right to the left or right, and here's your fruits and vegetables, and then it goes downhill. What's the next step? You usually have the the deli. You have all the different meats, the processed cheeses with all the sodium nitrite, all the saturated fat. Then you go to the meat department. Well, is it raw, natural? Is it good, wholesome meat? No, it's probably stuff that has been fed with all the different chemicals. And you gotta look at the different stuff that they feed the cows and chickens. All antibiotics to make your chickens and your cows fat, so you have a good piece of meat. Where do you think that stuff is going to? It's going right into you. So no wonder we're getting a little bit on the heavy side. So those are things to look at. Same way with your dairy. I mean, there was things with yogurt being so good. You look at all the yogurts. What's the problem? They're all sugar. Every one of them's sugar. They all have blueberries and all the different sweeteners. Same with your different milks, and it's all acidic stuff. She tells you how to go alkaline, and this here is one of the ways with the smoothie. We're using vegetables to take care of that, and we're trying to get away from some of the dairy. And she goes through here really good. Why eat plant-based? Gives you some ideas. Why eat raw? So why does everything have to be raw? Eating organic.
Part 2, what to eat for optimal health. And here's the greatest thing about what I like about this book. There's no recipe. I think she does it for salad dressings and a couple other things.
But here's the thing, if there's so many millions of recipes, and you can almost look at them and dissect them and say, hey, this isn't healthy at all because it's got, what, white sugar in it, or it's got, in fact, we were just at the store the other day. I was getting excited because I love sweet potatoes. My wife picks up sweet potatoes, she's getting some pears, we have some carrots. I mean, we must have had about 12 or 13 different vegetables and fruits. So I says, well, this is good. And then she asked, do we have any dark brown sugar at home? I says, what do you brown sugar for? And she says, well, that's for your sweet potatoes. I says, no. You're not going to kill my sweet potatoes with brown sugar. I says, you can go ahead with the recipe, but I'll make my own sugar. I'll take my dual dates. I'll put them through a food processor. I'll put some raw honey. I'll even put some maple syrup or something that's natural, but I'll make my own sugar. Well, I never got that recipe. But getting back to, she goes through the condiments and the salad dressings, the herbs and spices, the sweeteners, and I think I hit a little bit on the different types of the different vitamins and stuff that I used to take. She goes through here. There is a couple that you really need to take, like vitamin D and a few other ones if it's in the winter and you're not getting the sun. There's some things like that. But a lot of people say fish oil. Well, you know what? If you're using flaxseed and a lot of your different things, there's your omega fats. Another one that she touches on is those chia, like a chia pet. Chia seeds are good. But back to the recipe part, she gives you trying to educate you in the different types of raw foods, the different herbs, the different spices, and how to trying to come up and design your own meals. Because if she put a couple different recipes in here, you would stop. But here, just like we did with the smoothie, she gives you the different parts for the greens of the smoothie, the fruit, the healthy protein, the healthy fat. Same way with the lunch and dinner, she gives you ideas, not recipes, and she'll give you how to do the different soups, possible add-ins, possible enhancement flavors and ideas, which is good. Homemade salad dressing, she does give you a little bit of one, because a lot of our salad dressings are contaminated with high fructose corn syrup, and most of them they start off with water or high fructose corn syrup and go from there. Desserts and snacks. Well, you know what? There are a lot of desserts and snacks that we don't even know about that are healthy. Once you put them in the oven, of course, it takes a lot of the health out. But she's talking about how to make different types of optimal dessert mixes, how to make the crust out of and here she's telling you the nut, at least one sweetener. She gives you the different sweeteners, the flavor, the additions, how to make the different types of the filling. And in here you can make your iced fruit cream, nut or seed milkshakes, veggie sticks or slices, veggie chips. I mean, it's all here. Very recommended. And what I think would be good is, a lot of times I'll beaten path, I'll have to go back and look, okay, where did I go wrong? Okay, here I look in here, and okay, this is exactly where I went wrong. And here's some tips for eating fruits and vegetables. Avoid canned vegetables. It tells you why. Avoid stuff with the different sizes like that. I mean, it's all laid out real nice. And like I says, if you're to try to get to where you change your foods to where they're working for you and not creating the diseases that we have, you ought to pick up something like this. Like I said, it's healing and prevention through nutrition, natural and holistic approach to how to eat, what to eat, and why for optimal health and wellness. It's by Avita Chell. I'll put this picture on my blog, and I also put a link to where you can buy it. And to me, you can never put a value on health. And I'll go out of my way, I'll spend a little bit here and there. Well, I spend a lot for health anyway, but I would rather put it into books and trying to do it
trying to eat food the natural way, trying to exercise, than have to go through the different problems afterwards, such as like I did before with Nexium, Lipitor, and then it gets worse with diabetes, and then if you're unfortunate to get to cancers, a lot of this stuff is self-inflicted, like I said before. We inflict ourselves with the diseases that we have today. A lot of it comes from overeating with the different foods. We get obese. What comes from obesity, you can get different cancers and all that other stuff. And sure, you're going to have some cancers. My cousin, he's a cancer research scientist out of Texas, and they're always looking for, and we always ask them, did they find a cure for this? Did they find a cure for this cancer or this ailment? And he tells me, he says, you know what, he says, Dave, he says, we try to find stuff to put it out there so it makes money, but when it comes down to cancers and stuff, the best thing you can eat is raw food, such as your vegetables and your fruits, your whole grains stuff. It's all here. It all tells you how to do it. It's everything. And even if you get this,
like I said, use it as a plan. Maybe you want to try to do something every month, move on after you accomplish it. And once maybe you get to the point where, hey, I'm not sure what she said about, because she tells you about dairy, tells you about the enriched white flour, wheat flour, tells you about how to sprout your own grains. I mean, there's so much stuff in here. It talks about the macronutrients, micronutrients, high calories, low calories, the fiber. It's all here, right here for you to read. Very highly recommended. So I want to thank you for taking the time and enjoying me. I'm here out on my nature deck. We're supposed to get snow, but I got a fire here. You can see it's burning my eye. Hope you pick up the book. We'll see you for the next vlog. Bye.